Okay, here we're going to look at volume of a cube or a rectangular prism. Those are very close, but you'll see an example of each type here. So here we have a cube, and it just says to find the volume. Now, volume deals with a three-dimensional amount. The volume is basically, it's the if you were to break this up, this is 7 inches. If you were to break this up into 7 pieces, and each side is 7, so if we broke this all up into 7 pieces, you'd start to see that it's kind of like a whole bunch of blocks. So the volume is how many blocks there are. Okay, so all of this is just kind of made up of a bunch of little tiny cubes. You may be familiar with the Rubik's Cube. Well, that's made up of a bunch of little blocks, and how many blocks there are is the volume. The nice thing about volume of a cube is we've got a formula. So this would be something worth putting in your notebook. This is for a cube only. The volume is just the side cubed, or the side times the side times the side. So in this case, it's really easy. We're just going to multiply 7 times itself 3 times, and we're going to get 343. The key thing to remember here is that the units is always going to be to the third power, because again, it's inches to the third power, or cubic inches, we could say. Cubic inches. So our answer looks like this. Now let's take a look at another example. So here, this is a rectangular prism. So it's a little bit different than a cube. However, it's very similar in that if we were to break this up, this is 3, so there'd be like 3 parts here, and then this would be 8. So there's 2, 4, and then 8. So if I were to draw all those little lines on there, there'd be a whole bunch of cubes. We could go through and count all those cubes. That would be the long, hard way. But the easier way is to recognize that we have a nice formula. And again, this formula is for a rectangular prism. So you could put this in your notes. It would be really helpful to remember or to use. It's just the length times the width times the height. So really, it's the same thing as we had with a cube, except that these numbers are different numbers, whereas on the cube, they're all the same. So we just multiply 8 times 7 times 3, and we get 168. And once again, it's cubic centimeters. So our answer looks like that.